I've just never been more kind of disgusted just with where we're at. I'm totally on your side when you say the aliens can just come on down, shoot the laser beam, blow it all up.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to pay these student loans back anyway. And it doesn't look like we're gonna get any redemption on that anyhow. So you know what? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Land your motherships. Tell the human beings you've taken over. Drop your big alien cock on the sidewalk. Bitch slap everybody you see. Take all the water and the gold. And let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Let's roll.
Put a giant sign up on the moon, just says Earth under new management.
Seriously, bro. Because this season of Earth is a shit show.
Yeah. And really, our planet is like the crown jewel, not just of our solar system, but of like this kind of sector of the galaxy. You know, obviously we haven't done a lot of exploring in Alpha Centauri and you know, what's going on over there, but we can support a ton of life and biodiversity, and we seem hell-bent on killing it all. And it's just like, you know what? If the aliens are out there, at some point, they're just like, you know what? We're just going to come in and stop you guys from fucking this up.
It's shameful.
Yeah. But yeah, we were just talking about Shanquella Robinson. We're going to get into a whole bunch of other, you know, recent happenings. But the Shanquella Robinson thing is incredibly disgusting and shameful. We covered her earlier.
Now we should be in the streets protesting her. If we're going to protest George Floyd, we should be protesting for her.
Yes.
And I don't know why there hasn't been a fire ignited about this. Why do you think there's not people in the streets for her? Because this is blatant murder. I don't care who did it, black, white, purple. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that there was a beautiful young woman murdered by her alleged friends on film, and everybody has slept in their beds since. That's the problem.
To recap, just Shanquella Robinson went on vacation to Mexico with a handful of her friends, about 4 or 5. She thought they were her friends. They all came back to the US and she did not. And there are pictures and videos of several of her female friends jumping her in a hotel room. They said that she got too drunk and hit her head, and these friends came.
However, the autopsy contradicted that, to be clear. The autopsy completely contradicted that. And only at the request of her parents was it found out that, unlike what the friends had said she had died of, was originally alcohol poisoning, turns out to be a broken neck and assault wounds.
Right. They didn't say that she got drunk and hit her head. They said she died of
alcohol poisoning.
And she had several assault wounds. There's a video of them beating her up.
She died of severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation, or the dislocation of a ring-shaped bone that supports the skull. That was reported by the New York Times today. Shameful. It's shameful.
Yeah. And earlier you made a very good point about how there's a point in this video that circulated of these women beating her up where a girl grabs her by the head and spins her around with enough force that looks like is sufficient to break someone's neck. And she immediately drops to the ground. Her legs give out. And the other girls are saying, Shanquella, fight back. And she says, I can't. I think it's pretty clear that
she physically can't.
Yeah. Her spinal cord might have been severed at that point.
Right. I mean, it was so sudden. I mean, the neck is a really fragile bone.
Yeah, especially if you're not bracing yourself for a conflict. She's just walking. She doesn't realize this person's coming at her. This person grabs her by her head and spins her head around while her shoulders are facing 180 degrees the other direction.
Right.
And she's doing it in an anger, in a fury, with a ton of force.
This is
expecting. Yeah.
Shameful. So if anybody who feels the need to protest the death of Black young people, if we're going to protest George Floyd, we should be protesting for her.
Absolutely. And just to fully, close the book there, just today, the 12th here of April, local prosecutors said there isn't enough evidence to charge the people involved with a crime, even though it's very clear that a crime occurred. Even if you can't get them on murder or manslaughter, it's very clear that there's 3 people involved in an assault. And
there's no doubt an assault occurred. That is what is on the video.
Exactly.
Shame on them. Shame on us. Shame on this planet. Go ahead, aliens. You see this bullshit going on? Do what you do.
Seriously. In other news,
It's been a shitty few weeks. It's been shooting after shooting after shooting. Quite frankly, I don't even feel like going outside anymore. Are people worth the aggravation at this point? You tell me.
We had Louisville. We had, what was the one before Louisville?
We can't even keep track.
Was that in Colorado as well? But it was in Denver. This Christian high school or whatever. I shouldn't say or whatever.
I'm blanking on it because I was focused on Louisville. I was also focusing on the expulsion of the 2 African-American young males in Tennessee over demanding gun control. It was the Tennessee 3, but they did not vote out the white woman.
Right. So let's cover the shootings and then jump into that because they are kind of related. So yeah, it was Nashville. It wasn't Colorado. So Nashville, we had a trans rights activist also who was also a trans person who, had tweeted out a bit of a manifesto that included a hashtag trans day of vengeance, who went to a Catholic school where they actually had attended and shot it up. The police, to their credit, did go in and neutralize the assailant very quickly. We don't need to say the person's name.
No, we don't.
It's a lot more important to look at what happened afterwards, which is people protested at the state capitol in Tennessee, and that protest spilled into the Capitol building. However, nobody broke anything that I've seen. No major property damage. No one assaulted anyone. This was still a peaceful protest for the most part. Not even for the most part. I haven't heard of any violence whatsoever. It was a peaceful protest. 2 local state assembly members were part of that, and because they participated in this protest, they were expelled from the Tennessee State Assembly.
I really wonder how people sleep sometimes. I really wonder how many children need to be murdered. This country has had more shootings than there have been days in the year. I mean, what are we trying to win the Olympics on this? And we wonder why there's such apathy. Like, we wonder why kids are angry because school is not stimulating. Families are disconnected. Every time you go out to eat, what do you see? You see either the kids or the parents or both. Everybody sitting around eating in silence on their phones. What is happening? Why is no one communicating? Why is everybody so riddled with apathy? These kids are screaming in anger and pain. What else could this be? Nobody shoots up a school who's happy. Nobody shoots up a bank who's happy. How are we missing the cues? Is it not all around us? I mean, really, what is it going to take for this country to not even budge on guns? Is bananas to me. But then I was thinking about it another way, and I was thinking maybe the whole goal is that in not budging, it forces all of us to get a gun.
At a certain point, you have to consider it.
At a certain point, you have to believe that that's the goal. Because there is no explanation for doing nothing. And I am pro Second Amendment. I do believe everybody should have the right to bear arms. But I do believe that because we live in a collective society, we have a responsibility to each other as a community as well. And people who consider themselves spiritual, the spirituality is finding the balance in that. Finding the balance between what you want and what's best for everybody around you. This is not what's best for everybody around us. And the people always seem to pay the price for adults' bad decisions are children.
Always.
It's not the dogs.
Nope.
Not dogs.
Never.
We're going to take care of them. But Shanquella Robinson can't press charges. Michael Vick will be remembered for the rest of his life for killing those dogs. Not a human, dogs. And you're telling me that we watched a video of a young woman being murdered and no one has felt the need to bring charges against anyone? Then I have to believe that the goal is to ultimately to get us all so aggravated and scared that we all buy guns. What else could it be? All the arrows are pointing that way.